Up first this evening, uncertainty is now gripping some Jamaicans who are keen to migrate to the United States.
The fears set in Wednesday after the U.S. authorities confirmed Jamaica is among 75 countries blacklisted and will see the suspension of immigrant visa processing starting next week.
The move is the latest by the Trump administration, targeting migrants from countries who go to the USA and need social welfare services.
Ramarda Lyons reports.
Spouses, children, parents waiting to reunite with family in America. Permanent job opportunities. Just a few possibilities now in limbo. Dreams of a green card just got a major red light following the United States indefinitely suspending immigrant visa processing for a long list of countries, Jamaica included. The suspension will apply to 75 countries starting January 21, 2026. 12 Caribbean countries are listed: Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Cuba, Dominica, Grenada, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, in a series of posts on X, the U.S. State Department says the suspension is for countries, quote, whose migrants take welfare from the American people at unacceptable rates, end quote. It says, quote, the freeze will remain active until the U.S. can ensure that new immigrants will not extract wealth from the American people, end quote. Another says, quote, the Trump administration will always put America first, end quote. Erwin Clare, managing director of the New York-based Caribbean Immigrant Services, says it spells trouble for many families.
It is problematic, but it's all part of the restriction of what we would call family reunification. You know, there's no secret that the administration has always wanted to pull back from family reunification as one of the main bases for the migratory patterns into the United States.
It's important to note that the suspension applies to immigrant visas, not non-immigrant visas. An immigrant visa is for someone who intends to live in the United States permanently. A non-immigrant visa is for someone going to the United States temporarily and must return home. Now, the keyword from the US regarding the immigrant visa suspension is indefinite. So what does this mean for Jamaicans who had applications on file?
So we say to people here in Jamaica, understand that these are the rules of the United States government. And this is not something that Jamaica can now say to the United States, change your rules about your immigration policy.
What Jamaica has said so far came from a post on X from Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. She says she's seeking verification and clarity, and as soon as she has such, she will provide an update. US-based immigration attorney Xavier Francis says it's basically a waiting game.
At this point, you just have to wait. There's nothing that can be done to expedite the process. If your visa is available, meaning that it's current and you can apply for the green card through consular processing, that process would freeze and it would be on hold until the suspension is lifted.
But some Jamaicans with family overseas and had sights set on the American dream are now living the Jamaican nightmare.
If you happen to go to the United States and fall in love and get married to a United States citizen, that process still continues. It's within the United States. We're talking about folks now who would be applied for, who are living in Jamaica and being petitioned for by their family members who are so qualified. Those set of persons will now be subjected to additional barriers.
Meanwhile, marriages as a gateway seem safe for now.
Everything is at a standstill. We just don't know what to expect, what's next, if the day will ever come where we can or will ever be united.
But this is very much surprising to many Jamaicans, a lot with cases currently being processed and worried of what is going to be the end result of those cases.
It's yet another expansion of US President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration. On January 4, President Trump posted a list of 120 countries whose citizens receive the most welfare benefits. On the percent of households receiving assistance, Jamaica is listed with 36.7%. Haiti, Cuba, St. Vincent, and Trinidad and Tobago rank above Jamaica.
You know, these are troubling times. You know, but again, these are the rules of the United States, and you know, we either subscribe to them if we want to play the game, or we choose other options.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.